Okay, so this time we're talking to business owners who have an HVAC company who might have an opportunity to make a little bit of extra money while they're already in the building. So more or less commercial heating and air conditioning versus residential. So in commercial applications, they have bigger accounts that have industrial type of markets, such as CNC machine shops or medical facilities that actually produce some kind of a part which might have dirty air. So while they're actually servicing the ductwork and the air filters for the conditioning of the building, you have a solution for cleaning the air and keeping it clean.
Yes, many times I've seen with the HVAC companies, they're cleaning duct, they're replacing air conditioning filters. They're in the factory, but they get to an electrostatic air cleaner and they're not servicing it. And the reason they're not servicing it, it might be that their guys aren't trained and don't know how to change the cells. But usually the guys are pretty sharp, and it's not rocket science changing out some electrostatic cells. I don't want to make it sound overly complicated. But they are charged, and you do have to ground them and be aware of some things. But really for the HVAC company, the problem is they don't have the replacement cells. And they don't want to get into taking these cells out and cleaning them, and making sure they work, and having the parts that are required if they break or don't work, like the ionizer wires or the insulators if they're cracked, these kinds of things, and just the cell itself, that they just avoid it. And a lot of times they get to the electrostatic air cleaner and they avoid it. And before and after it.
So you're saying normally they know what it is, but they just say,
I don't want to clean it.
Okay.
Yes, a lot of times they do. They know what's going on. They know what they are.
Since they're already there servicing it, they have the ladders up, or they're actually on a lift and they're passing by them, you actually have a compensation plan where you can resell your service.
To the HVAC companies, I say, envision your guys are now servicing an air conditioning unit in a factory, and that a few days prior, the shipment of cells came on a stacked container with the right amount of cells, because we know what's there. And your guys would take the dirty cells out, put the clean ones in, and put the dirty cells back in the container. The container would get shipped right from the factory back to our facility. So it's easy. I want to make it easy for the personnel at the HVAC company just to take out the cells and replace them.
So you pretty much eliminated all the dirty work, all the scheduling, all the confusion. Those are just basically ready to go in.
You don't even need a truck, because the cells will get drop shipped right to the end user and then come right back from the end user. Now, the other thing I would tell the HVAC company is I'm aware that many HVAC companies, you have big contracts with certain end users. We could bill you direct, we could bill the end user, however they want to do that. My goal is to just provide a service that they could sell.
Right. So you're basically value added. You're not in competition with them.
No.
Because you have no business being in the air conditioning. Just
I
have
no understanding of HVAC.
So you're providing compensation for something they're already going there to make money at.
Yes.
So while they're there, they could actually make some extra money by just
Yes.
keeping their eyes open and looking out for these opportunities, especially in a facility that has air issues.
Air issues, and I say this to big HVAC companies or small HVAC companies. There could be smaller companies where guys are driving and they're doing the work themselves, and they see it and they're like, "Wow, I'd love to be able to service that. I could make it easy for them to service that and sell that service." And it'd be easy. They'd be able to do it. They wouldn't even need a truck, because we would have stuff drop shipped.
Nothing to transport.
Nothing to transport.
Just
all the parts.
exchange.
Yeah, I can give training on all that, on how to replace them, on all the springs, the ionizer wires. You're going to have those in the kits that are shipped down with the cells. So I'm sending you not only cells to service, but I'm also going to send you a kit of stuff you would need if you run into a problem. The bottom line is you have billable service and you're going to have billable parts. So you're going to make money if you have to replace a power pack. You just made a few $100s. You're going to replace ionizer wires. You're going to make some money. You're going to get money for the ongoing service. It's ongoing. It needs to be done, routine. So it's easy to schedule it with. If you're going to have a crew doing some work on air conditioning, this crew could be trained to do work on electrostatic cell replacement. So it's a value-added service, like you said. I can offer something.
So if I was an HVAC company, how would I get started, or what would the procedure be? I would just say, hey, I service a huge facility that has probably a bunch of these units that need service. Would I give you a list of machines or equipment and what types they are, so that I would give you that information?
Yes.
You would provide me with a quote,
Yes.
so to speak, and then they would resell that service if they choose?
Yes. There's,
Or you could
yes.
build direct?
We could bill direct, and they would get a percentage of our invoice, or they would bill, and we would bill them, the HVAC company, and then they would mark it up and get.
Okay, so
and sell
basically
to the
it
end user.
depends on the end client, because sometimes the end client only wants to deal with the HVAC guy, they
Yes.
don't want to introduce another company.
Company, exactly. So in those situations,
So they're like the middleman, but you
Yeah.
have a service that they can,
they provide that. I'm selling under the banner of their company. So now Joe Smith's HVAC company can provide electrostatic service. In reality, they're just outsourcing the service, but they
right, but they don't have to do anything. It's already
Right.
there when their scheduled
the
service is.
service is. We would work with the HVAC company to make sure that the cells are coming at a time and are there when their guys are there.
Here's a good question that I just thought of. An HVAC company has a maintenance program with these bigger facilities. They may be in there monthly. I'm not really sure what their frequency is, but they can't service the whole thing in one shot. So they may do something similar to what you're
similar
doing,
to what we're doing.
where their
Exactly.
frequency is 4 times a year, maybe twice a year. But even if they're in more frequently than they need to replace the cells, they just go in on those two.
Whatever the schedule is for the HVAC company, we would help build it for them. So I'm not just going to randomly send cells down and say, have at it, let's figure out what they need. Your guys will get lost, they won't be efficient. No, what we'll do is we'll say, you're going to service, asset numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, in this room on this day. And that way, there's a good amount of work for the guys, but it's not overly. They stay organized with the cells and how to repack them in the container. So it's really a system that the HVAC company guys, a training system that we can provide, so they could go in and efficiently remove the electrostatic cells, put the new ones in, get them in the containers, and get them shipped out and move on.
Okay, so you boiled down like a huge process into what's the average time it takes to service a
Yes.
unit. I mean, there's different
Yes.
amounts of cells in them.
There's
but if there's 2
variables.
or
Sometimes
3,
they're harder to get to, sometimes they're easier to
Sure.
get to, things like that. So we take that into consideration and put together a plan of action so that when the guys are in that facility, they're billable, it's controlled, you know how long they're going to be there, and you get out. I don't want to make more problems. I want to control all the variables and just get people in and out, and that's what the system is designed to do. And it'd be lucrative. It'd be very lucrative for an HVAC company, because I run into a lot of HVAC companies that are they just walk around them. They don't look to service electrostatic precipitators, and that's what we're reaching out. We could make it so that they could.